Thank you, Travis. Good evening, viewers, and welcome to tonight's regional news. We begin with news from Brazil. Landslides and flooding from heavy rains in São Paulo state have killed at least 21 people since Friday, including 7 children, public security officials said Saturday. According to São Paulo state authorities, 9 other people were injured in the rains and 4 more were missing, while some 500 families were left homeless across the state. São Paulo's governor, João Doria, flew over the flooded areas on Sunday and said he had authorized $2.79 million of emergency aid for the affected cities. Since December, heavy rains have triggered deadly floods in northeast Brazil, threatened to delay harvest in the Midwest, and briefly forced the suspension of mining operations. We now turn our attention to Venezuela. Venezuela's opposition has suggested that the United States ease economic sanctions in the country and some of its individuals, a potential policy shift aimed at bringing President Nicolas Maduro back to the negotiation table, according to National Assembly head Juan Guaido. The plan could be put in motion even before talks hopefully resume in Mexico, Guaido said, as the opposition pushes for free and fair elections as soon as possible, as well as changes to Venezuela's judicial system. In a tweet late Friday, Guaido said progressive lifting of sanctions is subject to the government agreeing to certain conditions. An official for the State Department said the United States does not preview actions and sanctions. The United States, along with its partners and allies, seek to use multilateral pressure to remove Venezuela toward a democratic solution, the official said in a written reply to questions. The Maduro regime can create a path to easing sanctions by engaging in sincere discussions with the opposition to create the necessary conditions to enable free and fair elections to take place in Venezuela. Now for some international news. Chesley Christ, the 2019 winner of the Miss USA pageant and a correspondent for the entertainment news program Extra, has died. Police said that 30-year-old Christ jumped from a Manhattan apartment building. She was pronounced dead at the scene Sunday morning. Christ, a North Carolina lawyer, won the Miss USA pageant in May 2019 and competed in the Miss Universe pageant that year. In a statement Sunday, the nationally syndicated program Extra called her not just a vital part of the show, she was a beloved part of the Extra family and touched the entire staff. Finally, news out of Chile. Chilean protesters march against immigration and crime in the Andean countries far north on Saturday, with some violent factions destroying belongings from migrant camps in the streets amid growing tension in the region over border controls. Despite pandemic restrictions in recent years, many migrants from Venezuela and elsewhere have kept trying to reach Chile, one of the wealthiest countries in the region, which has been rocked in recent years by protests over entrenched inequality. The call to protest came after a group of Venezuelan migrants recently attacked a police officer at a checkpoint for which they were detained. Protesters on social media also called for strike action in the city over the situation. Migration and crime were a big voter concern in presidential elections last year, which were won by Gabriel Boric, 35, a leftist lawmaker and former student protest leader who comes into office in March. That has brought us to the end of tonight's regional news. Thank you for watching. Good night.